Well, hello there, how is everyone? I hope you are all well. It's Friday, video 2 of 2, so if you've only seen one, no, if you've seen one, this is the second, so you're on the right track. If you've seen none, you definitely have missed one. But you made it and you're looking fantastic for it. In all honesty, it seems that this week has been good to you, and that's an amazing feat. Because there's been a lot going on. Let's give some shout-outs. Shout-outs to Jules of All Trades. She's done some fantastic work this week. And also JB Gunner. He has also done some fantastic work this week. And both of them have worked extremely hard. So go and show them some appreciation. I know some creators are not everyone's cup of tea. Don't want to hear about it. I appreciate that not everyone. If you don't want to, don't. But I'm just saying, I appreciate hard work. I know how much hard work goes into these channels. Trust me. Works my fingers to the bones. And when I talk about that, I could turn around and say, because of that, I'm going to have a train of super stickers. And I need 15 super stickers by the end of this video. I could even fart on camera and try and get away with it. Who am I talking about? Let me know down below. If I get away with it, he didn't. Anyway, straight into the meat and potatoes. I say straight into the meat and potatoes. I know it's Friday and it's the last video of the weekdays. So I can be a little bit, off topic. Slow to start. And I'm dragging it out now, aren't I? Bryan Kohberger. Big question that has always sort of been in my brain. And I can't make it make sense. And look, even though I have decided at the moment I won't be going on to the Drunk Turkey Show's channel, purely because there's a lot going on in that situation, and I don't want to be part of it. But I have a lot of respect for Daniel. I am speaking to Daniel off the platform, and just we're speaking about our ideas on the case. Now, I'm not going to tell you what his ideas are, because it would be unfair of me to do so. But look, he's not as closed-minded as what I thought he may be. Let me just put that out there. He's got his thoughts, and they are logical, and I respect that. But it did bring me to my question. And again, this is something that I struggle with. Now, what I don't struggle with is the belief that Bryan Kohberger could somehow be involved. And I do feel that I'm more leaning towards the fact that he had connections of some kind to 1122 King Road that could have enabled him to end up in the position he's in now. Now, what I don't mean that he did the murders or he antagonized the situation or manipulated the situation, but it's possible. It's possible, but we'll get to that. Let me just put a pin in that for now, because I want to explain as I go along so you guys make sense of what I'm trying to say. Now, he's in the position he's in. He's been arrested. At the end of the day, he's been arrested and he has been charged with the murders. So at the moment, things aren't looking good for him. And he's got himself into this situation seemingly by being around that property at the time with which we have been left to believe it happened. Now, what I will say is, we don't know 100% that what happened at the time we've been told it happened. And that has been, the problem there has been caused by the fact that the surviving roommates took such a long time to inform 911 what had happened that you're left with a huge amount of time. There's discrepancies in terms of when some of the victims have arrived back at the house. Some people say that it was 12:30. Some people say that it was 1:45. So you get spaces of time that are just missing. And in a case like this, where every single minute counts, it makes it very hard. Anyway, I digress. My point being, Bryan Kohberger seems to be in this position because he was in the area. Now, to me, the thing that makes the most sense with what has been said on the peripheral in terms of what was going on in that house, and look, what I will say is, you guys don't see the shit that I get emailed. You do not see it. And the vast majority of it, I ignore it, or I will ask for where that come from, the proof. I want to see the actual transcript of that information, where the chain of custody. I want to see that, not just you telling me something that's been said by someone else. That doesn't help me. But anyway, so look, he's obviously got in this area, and it makes the most sense to me that he was there to purchase something or to obtain something that he was obtaining regularly. And, you know, some people have said to me that Bryan Kohberger was on a secret task force. That's the latest one I've got. He was part of a secret task force looking into the trafficking, etc., etc. I'm not saying that that's not right. I'm just saying that what's been sent to me doesn't prove that whatsoever. But look, he's in the position he's in. And the thing that makes the most sense is he's in this position because he was in the area. I think we can all agree on that. Even though you could debate it based on the camera and the footage of the white Hyundai Elantra and all this, at the end of the day, he seemingly couldn't say that he wasn't there because he was interviewed at the start. And if he would have been able to say, well, I just weren't there and I can prove that I was somewhere else, he wouldn't be sitting there today. And it's kind of spiraled into where we are. This is what I have a problem with. When you look at the crime to me, you look at the perpetrator himself, and this is a guy who you would expect to be incredibly smart. He's a smart guy. I'm not going to go into it. We've done all of what he's got and what he's working towards, the doctorate, etc., etc. He's a smart guy. Some people have said book smart, street stupid, so on and so forth. But this is where the lines become blurred. Because what we're trying to say is Bryan Kohberger was book smart. He was literally studying this specific area of, what can I say? Well, he was studying crime. He was studying DNA. He was looking at crime scenes and pondering over actual crime scenes on how you could get caught and not get caught. Do you know what I mean? It was like he was studying inside like CSI fucking Miami. But what we're supposed to believe is that this guy drives his own car to the scene, takes his phone rather than leaves it behind, which would have, in effect, made it look like he was at home all the time. He could have said, well, I was with my phone. But he took it and turned it off. But he would have known that that was still a problem, or he should have known. He then drives in an area in his own car with his own phone, even though it's switched off, and gets hit by cameras. So cameras are seeing him. So into an area where also, not only the cameras and the aforementioned phone and own car, but there's police out there. And seemingly, it's quite common for police to be in that area to stop any altercations. They're out there, and sometimes they're in plain clothes. So he drives his own car into an area that's renowned for having police around the area, and there are police around the area, a stone's throw from the house on that night, and then he goes into the house, leaves an eyewitness, leaves DNA, and leaves. But then we've got the split. So that's that. Complete and utter fucking mess. Couldn't have made more mistakes if he tried. If he was writing a book, like James Patterson, of how not to commit a crime, that is a perfect example of it. So we'll put that there. And let's not forget, Bryan Kohberger, one of his teachers said that he was one of the best students she had ever taught. Only one of two who had been put forward for the course that he was on. One of two. Brilliant student. Contemplate that and brilliance. The crime itself, a very, very different matter. Goes into a house and with, again, I've said this before, military precision, takes the life of 4 able-bodied individuals. One of them being very able-bodied. Ethan Chapin wouldn't have been a pushover. He was a big, athletic, strong person. And if you put them side by side, and it was like, we're going to put bets and see who would win a face-to-face fight. And I know what people are going to say. It's very different saying that, but when one person's got a weapon. But let's not forget, this person has attacked and murdered 4 people. And not only have they done it and seemingly come away unscathed, because we've not heard anybody come forward and say that they'd seen any injuries on him whatsoever. Nobody from the college or anything. We couldn't see anything when he was being filmed with the police cam when he was stopped. But we've heard from the likes of Steve Gonsalves that they put up one hell of a fight. So it weren't like people were asleep. This is something where people were awake, they were fighting, but he'd done it. He'd done it quickly, efficiently, and left, and potentially no evidence on him. No evidence whatsoever. And was dressed for the occasion. Dressed like a fucking ninja and went in there and dispatched 4 victims like a ninja. And I don't mean that in jest. I'm not trying to make fun of the situation. I'm trying to make people understand that there is 2 polar opposite elements of this crime. And that, to me, is one of the biggest issues that I have. That there's so many mistakes, but such skill and efficiency that the 2 don't go together. And I struggle to consolidate that. To me, that is like someone did the crime, but the person that got the crime caught, if you like, got Bryan Kohberger to where he is, was not the same person. How can someone have such a skill at doing the crime itself? Such a skill, because it would have that in the amount of time it took, minutes. And like I say, just think if there isn't any DNA in his house, in his car, anywhere, to do what was done, to not get anything on him or his person or his car or anything. And I'm not saying there isn't, I'm just saying that I believe that we would know if there was. I could be wrong. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Let me know what you think. Does this make sense? To me, this is like 2 polar opposites. Is this 2 people? Is this an indication that Bryan Kohberger was involved and there was more than one? Or is it the second person, the person who's got Bryan Kohberger caught, is not a real person? This is the person they're trying to make you believe exists to make this work. To make the Bryan Kohberger story work. Or is it one person who just happened to be incredibly skillful at doing this, but couldn't understand that driving their own car around cameras with their own phone on them, leaving a witness and leaving DNA at the scene was a problem? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that one. Have a fantastic week. Have a fantastic week. Weekend. The week's gone. It's done me. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I hope it is as fruitful as mine has been. And I'll catch you all on the next one.